Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, I know, but as many of you guys know, I've been busy with this M97 Porsche engine. And as you can see, it's coming along very, very well. We've got a lot done. Most of the stuff is already bolted up. I'm just at the moment cleaning off the intake manifolds. Before I put them on, I'm just gonna run a lot of you guys through what I've actually replaced and what it makes sense to replace if you're gonna rebuild one of these engines, purely because they are known to fail, and obviously you don't want to be getting the engine back out to get to these parts, and you will have to if this part was to fail, because it's not easy to access in the car. It can be done, but it makes your life a lot harder than it is just take off the intake plenums and do it like this. So as you can see here, I've replaced all the CCV, so I've got a new one here. I've got a new one on the other side as well. These two go to the heads, each separate head. Obviously draw all the vacuum and all the extra vacuum out of the heads. I've also got a new CCV here as well. We've also got all new pipes. I've got a new starter motor because they're common to go. We've got a new starter lead, which is a starter cable because they break down and cause a lot of rough running, not starting the car. A lot of people seem to think it's a starter motor, but it's usually due to the battery cable failing. We've got a new one of them on as well. New starter motor, all plugged up. Like I say, the CCVs is a must when doing this. I know a lot of guys are gonna say they're very expensive. Yes, for all three, plus all the hoses, they're about £780 to buy them all, but it is so worth doing because, as many of you guys know, if these fail, this will literally just burst all your valve cover, and that's what a lot of people seem to believe actually causes the bore scoring as well. So it is worth changing them CCVs. I know a lot of people don't have the money, but you know, if you're gonna buy a Porsche engine, don't skimp out on it because it will bite you later on down the line and get you when you least expect it. So it is worth, you know, even if you don't have to rush it, just get the money and do these parts because it's a much, much needed replacement. Okay guys, so if you'll see here, I've got a new belt on here. I've also replaced all the pulleys. So you've got the pulley here that goes to the alternator bracket. You've got another pulley here that bolts into the actual block itself. And I've also got a new tensioner pulley as well. And that's purely because I wanted to replace all the pulleys because they were knackered. You guys remember I replaced the water pump as well. Like I said, I've replaced everything I can think of so far that needed to be replaced. Obviously these pulleys weren't in the best condition when I took them off, so I've chosen to replace them all for new ones. They were around £300 for all three of them. That comes with the whole kit to do them all. So if you can see here, I've replaced the oil pressure switch as well. And that's purely because, as many of you guys know, once this is actually inside the car, this is a nightmare to get to because obviously it sits on my driver's side, right at the back of the car, and it's not easy to get to. I've seen people try to do it on Lime, and either they're trying to gain access to it from underneath the car and everything else, and it's just a nightmare to get to it. So that's why I chose to replace it now, to better be safe than sorry. They're not cheap as well. Obviously, I know many of you are gonna say, or most of this don't need replacing. You know, Nathan tried to tell me the same thing. All this doesn't fail, it doesn't need replacing, but fact is, I don't want to take no chances because obviously I'm rebuilding this engine to the fullest. So I've replaced everything. Obviously, next owner's going to be very, very happy with the way it comes out because obviously I put a lot of money into it, replacing parts that people just don't think of. Same with the oil level sender as well. I've replaced that so we don't have to worry about that failing either. So you can probably see here as well, I've replaced all the radiator and coolant hoses. This was to go along with every other coolant hose that I've replaced on the car, the ones that sit at the front, run into the back. I replaced the water hose going to the water pump that goes to obviously the coolant reservoir. I've replaced this radiator hose here. This coolant one goes to the actual engine itself. So I've replaced this one as well. This one's got a new one. We've got a few others to go on, so the one's going to the actual coolant reservoir. I've replaced every single coolant hose on this engine. You know, like I said, I've come to the end of this now. I am looking forward to getting this finished, bolting the exhaust up. We've got new headers to go on, a whole new exhaust system. I'm clearing up all the intake manifold because it was absolutely disgusting, cleaning it all up and going to be bolting it back together. Obviously, it's still got another load of new things to be bolted on, like I say, all the CCV pipes, things like that, which we'll get onto later on. But as I said, guys, if you are planning to overhaul one of these engines, do cater for a lot of money to overhaul it because you're going to find things are going to break, things are just going to be worn. It's something you need to factor in when replacing anything on this engine. Like running the wiring harness back is very, very simple. It looks harder than it is. It's very, very simple to rerun it and run all the pipes and everything else. I did it in literally no time, just remembering because it just goes, you can't pull it the wrong way. It only goes one way and then the wrist clips onto the gearbox once the gearbox is on. Like I said, I think we're going to be putting the headers and the exhaust on the engine stand, and we'll take it off the engine stand with an engine crane. I'm not sure yet what I might do. I might even take it off before that and then bolt all the exhaust up. Not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I'll see how it goes. So we've also completed, obviously, all the heads, all the valve covers are now back on. The timing's been done. I know many of you guys, I did say I would complete the timing, but the timing was a bit finicky on this. Never done it before. I got it right, but I got to say it wasn't easy, but I did enjoy doing the timing procedure on this. I really did. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and it was a very easy engine to time. As I said to many of you guys, there's not much detailed videos out there for this car. I think that's why a lot of people are scared to build them. You don't see many people rebuilding these on YouTube, especially this engine, because there is zero information out there regarding building these engines. Zero, absolute zero. 996, there's loads, but M97 there's not, and everyone thinks it's the same, but it's actually not the same. There's a lot that's different from it, and that's why a lot of people don't buy them, because they're scared, because there's no information regarding these engines out there whatsoever. So if for instance, there's one part they come to that isn't like 996, they get completely stumped and won't know how to do it, and it doesn't show. There's no information out there. There's no Haynes manual. The only Haynes manual you got out there is for the 996. So it's all just remembering on where things went, on how you saw it. A lot of this, from what I've managed to put back, is all remembering how I pull it, what bolts went where, what I took out, and it's very hard, and that's why it's taken me a lot of time to remember. Because of that reason, I'm having to remember everything I've done, where it all went, how it bolted down. You know, you've still got the exhaust hangers, the exhaust brackets, the new headers to go on, the new exhaust, how they all went. There's a lot to remember when doing this. You have to remember what side, obviously, the scavenger pump goes, the tandem pump goes, you know, on the heads as well. It's very, very hard, and you have to get it right, putting the IMS in. A lot of things on here are the same as the 996, but a lot of it isn't, and that's something that you have to be aware of if you got yourself involved in one of these engines. Like I said, they do take a lot of money, and you can see all the money I've spent here, the new starter motor, the CCVs, the oil pressure switch, all the new hoses. Like I said, it's not cheap. Just for the new belt, pulleys, and the CCVs, that's only £1,000. And that's just on pulleys and CCVs, just for this engine alone. That's just £1,000 just alone, just for all that. A lot of people choose to reuse CCVs. That's all fine, but if it is wrong or it goes wrong, you guys have to fork out for it, because as many of you guys know, if it does go wrong, you're going to be left with having to strip the engine back down to get to it, and also it can cause bore score again. So I didn't want that, and that's why I went for this. Same way I upgraded the thermostat, water pump, done all of this. A lot of people are going to say it's overkill, but I'm just trying to secure the life of this engine, future-proof it for a long time coming. But as I said, guys, this is where we are with the Porsche engine. I hope many of you guys actually enjoying these videos. Like I said, I know I haven't recorded doing any of this, but it ain't been easy. Like I say, you got to think this is my first time doing this, and I'm really, really enjoying it, to be honest. I wanted to record it, but I'm not going to lie, I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And to be honest, I feel no need to actually record it, because the fun I'm having, and I get why people don't record it, because you end up getting lost with this car, doing it yourself and not even thinking about recording it. And obviously, you know, some of the time I like to have music on, things like that, which you can't do when recording a video. So that's why a lot of the time I'm not even recording either, due to the way YouTube are against that. So I'd prefer just to not shoot a video at all. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't chose to do it. But there you go, guys. That's where I'm with this engine. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to carry on dealing with this engine. And yeah, I'll look forward to showing you the final result once the engine's fully complete.